What's going on, y'all? It's me, man, Christoph. We're back with another fly episode of Star Power. Today we have a young real estate tycoon, Anthony Fialho. Check out his story. What actually drew you to want to be a real estate agent?
Well, I always knew that I was gonna get into some sort of a sale, and then I looked at someone's biggest personal financial decision, and real estate was it. So I thought, I'd love to be a part of number one, finding someone a house that they love, and number two, being a part of the biggest purchase of their life, probably.
So, being in real estate, can you talk about some of the pros and cons that are associated with being a real estate agent?
Well, some of the cons are easier to talk about. You kind of get that stigma as well that when you're a real estate agent, because there are so many that, it's like a used car salesman type of thing, and people seem to associate that kind of like slick kind of way of doing business into real estate as well. So that's a challenge that you have to overcome on a daily basis, because I see it as well in all of the real estate industries, right? The mortgage, the lawyers, and all the other agents that you have to dodge the so-called slick agents, right? And focus on an agent that gets you what you need and the way you want it done. The pros are, you get to make your own schedule. That can be a pro and a con, because you still have to, you're still getting your schedule by your clients. And it's not a 9 to 5. That's a con. It's not a 9 to 5 or a pro, depending on the way you look at it, right? Sometimes I'm working at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I enjoy that because I like to be up late, but I can get up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon if that's the way my schedule is working. But some of the cons too, it's expensive. It's it's an expensive industry to run, because you're trying to run your own company, brand yourself, learn as much as you can, because there's no one telling you what to do, right? But that could be a pro as well, because you're just you're teaching yourself, and you're learning through experience, and you're making it happen for yourself, which is sometimes a more rewarding challenge at the end.
So, in terms of becoming a real estate agent, can you sort of touch on the path that you've taken to get to where you are in terms of being certified as a real estate agent?
Well, you can go on www.orea, that's OREA.com, and just sign up for your first phase. That's the hardest one. It's closed book. You have to get 75% or higher, and if you pass that one, then you can go to class and get your phase 2, phase 3, right? And then you got to do updating courses after updating courses, so you're constantly getting credits, and you're in school nonstop learning new things. So that's another great thing. You get to learn new stuff all the time. You can get your mortgage license. You can get your paralegal certificate and whatnot as well. So you can do other parts to the real estate transaction. If just selling real estate isn't what you want to do, there's a lot of other different industries that surround the real estate market.
So can you just touch on some of those industries, so that way our viewers, if they're interested in becoming a real estate agent and not sure what aspect they want to get into, you can sort of...
Sure. There's commercial. There's a commercial spot that, that's a more rigid schedule. 9 to 5, commercial guys, they don't work past 5 o'clock. And they come in and, they do their thing, and then they're done. You work for a company, they give you a base salary too, and plus a commission rip on top of it. There's the home inspectors. You can become a home inspector. You can go to some of those different websites. I don't know them offhand, but you can get that done in about a year or so. Real estate takes about a year and a bit to get fully licensed and whatnot, and then 2 years probably of experience before you can honestly say to your clients, listen, I know what I'm talking about, and you can trust my decision when I'm walking you through houses and whatnot. Then of course you can become a broker after a real estate agent, and that's just so then you can have a team working underneath you. You can start your own company, and if that's the path that you want to lead, of training other agents and teaching them how to do it, right? That might be a path for somebody. it's currently the path that I'm trying to follow. I'm trying to open up a company, Downtown Property Incorporated, which is, it takes time and it's a lot of effort, but it might pay off or it might not. Hopefully, it will. Of course, you become a paralegal and or a lawyer, and that gets you your you can just do your real estate transactions, and build a really big and prosperous business around that. And then of course the mortgage industry. You go to Seneca and you do your courses for about 6 months, and you're set. Then you can get licensed. You sign up with a brokerage and you go ahead and start brokering deals for people.
If you could use some words to describe your journey to date, what would those words be?
The number one word that I would describe the journey has been rewarding. Working with a client that sends me a letter saying, "Hey, Anth, that was, the work that you did for me and the way you negotiated the deal and, the walkthrough and everything that you've done to help me through the step of this biggest purchase." And this was an older couple, and they're touching on the fact that they were an older couple. That was a rewarding letter for me to get. I have it in my office. I keep it there, right? And then also the first time buyers that they invite me to their weddings, and I get invited to family events like baptisms and stuff like that. And I'm their real estate agent, right? It's almost like you become a little bit of a family member, which is that is rewarding. Challenging, of course, is the path as well, because you might work with someone for 6 months and then get burned, and you don't get paid, but that's a learning lesson, and it builds character and a little bit tough skin, right? So you can walk out there with a smile on your face and know what you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen again, right? So you build every day, you build a piece of character to walk you through life. It's a very rewarding career. I recommend that you talk to another real estate agent. Find out the costs, find out the hours, find out what's involved, because there is a high turnover rate in real estate. I mean, if you can make it past your first year in real estate, they almost say that you've made a career out of it, because a lot of people get into it for 2-3 months and realize that, I don't have an income, right? How do I survive? How do I do this? And the bills keep pouring in because you're spending money to make money, and it's I would talk to a real estate agent. You're more than welcome to call me, and I would love to talk to new young agents to getting into the business.
I'm just curious, were there any times that you experienced any defining moments that you could look back and say, this has helped me evolve into the individual I am today, or the real estate agent that I am today?
There's every day is almost like that, right? Because you go through these peaks and valleys where financially it's a peak, and then financially it's a valley. But more so than that, it's during those valleys in the market that you define your character then, because that's the time when you want to sleep in and you don't want to work and you think like nothing's working for me, but you pull yourself out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, you hit the gym, you go and do what you got to do, right, to get yourself pumped up for the day, and then you go do it, and then you call people and you make sure that you're working hard. So then these valleys are only for a month, and your peaks are for 5 months, right? And these are the moments. I remember in I think it was 2007, busy year for everybody around me, and I didn't knock down one deal all summer, June, July, August, not one deal. And I thought to myself, I got to get out of this business. Like, there's other jobs there that people are asking me to come and work for, and they're giving me, an offer for a good salary. But I said, you know what, I'm going to stick this out. And I ended up working for the rest of 2007, beginning of 2008, and I smashed out enough deals in that time to say that was a tough time during the summer when everyone around you is doing well. But then when you work hard during those low times, right, it defines your character when you're working during the good times. You're happier. You're happier, right?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Your main man, Christoph. Anthony, thank you for your time, your words of wisdom. Wish you much continued success in the real estate game. Tune in next week when we have DJ starting from scratch. Your main man, Christoph, Slide Up, Star Power. Peace. Bye.